Yo, what's going on YouTube? What's up everybody? Welcome back, man. Thank y'all guys for hitting play on this one today and tuning in with me, man. Today we are checking out Kenny Loggins with Jim Messina. Okay, Loggins Messina, I think is simple for short what they would call the group, right? And this is House at Pooh Corner. Okay, this one has been requested on one of my previous Kenny Loggins videos, at least, if not one with Messina and Loggins. And I think I've seen this cover before, but I never really took in how young they look, how different they look. I believe my first time being exposed was a song Angry Eyes, and it was a live version. So at some point, it's been a long enough time, I should go back and check out the studio version of that to hear it again. I remember really loving that song. But looking at them here, man, they're so young, especially Mr. I believe that's Messina. Yeah, Jim Messina on the left. And man, he looks so young, almost facial features of like Steve Perry is what I'm feeling a little bit on that, man. So maybe that's a compliment to him, maybe not, I don't know. But either way, they're throwing down some cards right here. We got House at Pooh Corner. So let's spin it up. Don't know necessarily what we're talking about. The only Pooh I'm familiar with is like Pooh Bear, spelled like that, right? P-O-O-H. So let's go ahead and spin it up, take a listen, what they're talking about. Got 4 minutes, 22 seconds. So appreciate the suggestion right here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out the description if you guys are having fun tuning into the channel, man. Thank you guys once again for hitting play on this one. Here we go. Woodsy.
Christopher Robin and I walked along under branches lit up by the moon, posing our questions to Owl and Dior as our days disappeared all too soon. But I've wandered much further today than I should, and I can't seem to find my way back to the wood. So help me if you can, I've got to get back to the house at Pooh Corner by one. You'd be surprised, there's so much to be done. Count all the bees in the hive, chase all the clouds from the sky, back to the days of Christopher Robin and Pooh.
Very interesting that they made a song about this.
Winnie the Pooh doesn't know what to do, got a honey jar stuck on his nose. He came to me asking help and advice, and from here no one knows where he goes. So I sent him to ask the owl if he's there, how to loosen a jar from the nose of a bear. So help me if you can, I've got to get back to the house at Pooh Corner by one. You'd be surprised, there's so much to be done. Count all the bees in the hive, chase all the clouds from the sky, back to the days of Christopher Robin and Pooh.
I mean, listen to these little sounds.
If you can, I've got to get back to the house at Pooh Corner by one. You'd be surprised, there's so much to be done. Count all the bees in the hive,
Some awesome guitar though.
chase all the clouds from the sky, back to the days of Christopher Robin, back to the ways of Christopher
like the guitar playing on this whole track. I don't know what the sound is. It sounds like a water drop. You know, not what I was expecting at all. I know I brought up Pooh. Didn't think we were actually going to get a song about Winnie the Pooh and Christopher Robin, but you did. And I couldn't help but where my brain, it always tries to think a little differently, like what else could we be talking about? Is it simply about Pooh Bear and Christopher Robin and their adventures? It definitely can be. 100% can be just surface material. A song can always be that. Doesn't stop our brains from having the power of building a stronger meaning, right? So I'm thinking, and he's just talking about generally, first of all, before we move on, I want to talk about how I was like, this sounds very woodsy. And then it was. And that shows you the artistry of, right, the artists and the way that they can make these sounds build a scenery for us, man. I think that's just impactful. It needs to be talked about. Some of the greatest ones that I've heard on this channel, they do that. They set your mind in that place with just instruments so that by the time you walk in and they start singing, you're already in that area. Are they talking about being at the beach? Are they talking about being in the woods? Are they talking about being in outer space? Right? We've heard different songs that literally paint the picture with instruments. I just think that's cool, man. I think that is so cool. So they did that. They come in with the woodsy sound. You got that flute and it just takes you there. Then we literally start talking about being out in the woods. So I thought that was really nice, really excellently done. But with that sound, when you're hearing what this song is in the complete song, and then you're watching these guys play poker with whiskey and vodka at the table, it does not sound like what they'd be playing. So I think that's another cool kind of ideas. That's why I'm saying I did not expect this at all. We're watching Jim and Mr. Messina and Loggins right here play and throw down, and then we're getting this really folksy, song right here sounding. Now, moving on with that, where my mind was taking me with this is we're talking about going out there and getting lost and help me find my way back home. And of course, that can be painted into a lot of different situations. One on my mind, which is probably the furthest, it's probably the most far-fetched idea, was talking about drug usage, right? And addiction and getting away from yourself and needing to find your way back home. But more in tune with what most of us experience is just moments of being lost, man. Moments of not being able to identify like what we want to do with our life, where we are, or maybe you stray a little bit too far from your heart and the way you were raised, and you saying, hey, I need to get back to get my feet on the ground, man. I've been messing around, kind of just messing up here and there. I need to, let me find my bearings again. So that's really where I was taking this song, because I want to think bigger than just the story about Christopher Robin and Pooh Bear, which it could definitely just be about that. So I'm excited. I hope that there's some information behind this one. House at Pooh Corner, and maybe it was made for a soundtrack. You know what I mean? Maybe that was the deal, and then of 100%, that might have been just the only intention. But even like some of my favorites, like you talk about Rage Against the Machine, they made a song for Godzilla, the movie, and the whole song was still political, even though referencing Godzilla and the movie industry, it was still completely political. So there are those bands that even though they're making a song for like a soundtrack, they're gonna really put their own story on that thing, their own staple on that thing, and they're gonna talk about whatever they want to while still tying in the theme of the movie. So I think that's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and check out House on Pooh Corner. All right, man, cover alert, cover alert. Wow, so we have this as a cover. I don't know if this was brought up before. I definitely had some suggestions for Nitty Gritty Dirt Band on the channel. We've done at least one of their songs with the intention of wanting to do more, but I haven't made my way back around to Nitty Gritty yet. So if there's more, this is a good time to interject and put them down in the comment section. But they're the OGs. They start, and I say OG sometimes, and I don't know if people know what that means. It's just saying original, okay? OG actually stands for Original Gangster, which is where OG comes from. But now I just say OG when I'm talking about original. Oh, that's OG, right? So Nitty Gritty Dirt Band from House at Pooh Corners from these guys, man. Released in 1971. Same year, though. Not same month, but same year that Loggins and Messina released it, okay? And that genre, the original, is considered rock, where Loggins and Messina made it more of a folk rock type of song. Same though, songwriter is Kenny Loggins though. Kenny Loggins wrote this, so originally released by Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, but written still by Kenny. So hey, it really is. I don't know. That's pretty awesome, man. House at Pooh Corner is a song written by Kenny Loggins based on the children's book of the same name. It was first performed by Nitty Gritty Dirt Band on their 1970s album Uncle Charlie and His Dog Teddy. Background: it is told from the perspective of both Winnie the Pooh and Christopher Robin and serves as an allegory for loss of innocence and nostalgia for childhood. Hey, man, where have we heard that before, man? I know there's been a song that's really touched on that too, is, you know, losing your childhood. Well, we had Puff the Magic Dragon, which was a very powerful one at this point as well. So that's awesome, dude. That is awesome. So you got the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band right here. Of course, Kenny Loggins writing about this one, using Winnie the Pooh and Christopher Robin to talk about that, which the film did really cover that, right? I know I grew up and I was able to watch a film. I don't think it was way back to the original classics. I don't know when that version I watched came out, but that one, you know, that's really kind of the part of the story about Winnie Pooh and Christopher Robin, at least from what I remember, is part of that is about losing your childhood. You know, it's getting away from you, man. It's time to grow up. And Loggins was a 17-year-old senior in high school when he wrote the song. Originally, Disney wouldn't allow Loggins to record the song, claiming copyright infringement. At the time, Loggins was dating the daughter of Don Tatum, CEO of Walt Disney Company. She arranged a meeting between Loggins and her father, who gave the okay for the song to be recorded. Wow, I mean, what the heck, man? I'm thinking Disney, like many of these big companies, are gonna shut down you doing anything with their music. Let's even see anything with their characters. I guess this one's gonna be allowed to become available on YouTube, right? But I was even afraid when I did the Beach Boys and I put in a little clip from Despicable Me, the little minions singing. I was like, there's no way they're gonna allow this to go up on YouTube. Probably me adding Disney characters. I think they're Disney characters. Maybe they're not. I know there's other big companies now that compete with Disney in that space, but either way, that worked out for him. He was dating the daughter of a CEO, and he was able to hook a meeting. Lucky him. All right, lucky him. For the Loggins and Messina version, it says the song was later recorded by Loggins and Messina themselves on their debut album Sittin' In, released in November 1971, 6 months after the release of the original from the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. All right, so that's what we got with that one, man. Lots of instrumentation happening on Loggins and Messina's version as well, and that's where we really got that sound of the woods. You got the oboe, the recorder, bass, backing vocals, drums, Moog synthesizer, Hammond organ, piano, shakers, tempo blocks, congos, kabasa, and even a gong. Dang, dude, that's crazy. All right, so that's what we got with this one, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in today, and I'm happy that even in so little words on the wiki, it feels like we got a lot of information. I really am happy with that. Sometimes I see a textbook, and it's about things that I really don't cover, you know, about the different measures and notes and stuff. Like, if I was more musically inclined and I knew more about that stuff, I'd probably find it a lot more interesting. But since I don't know it, it's like I tend to skip over that stuff. This, just a little block of information with a big punch, man. So that's what we got with this one. Thank you guys for tuning in. If there's more from the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band or Loggins and Messina, let me know, guys. I'll be happy to return. Like I said, my mind runs a little bit bigger with this, but I do like that. We circled back around and found out it's an allegory for loss of innocence and nostalgia of childhood. We all went through it. So shout out, man. Thank you guys for being here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out the description if you guys are enjoying rocking with the channel. I'll see you on the next one, man. Peace.